Welcome into Titan Game Day morning. That's the wrong graphic. Well done, Bert. Here on the live stream network. Lovely to have you guys here. Always a pleasure. We've got three Titans keys to success we're going to rattle through before I get ready to head on down to Acrisure, ? No longer Heinz Field Stadium here in sunny, weather's beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm going to give you your three Titans keys to success today. Of course, we'll talk about them together. Need you guys to share the broadcast around as more of you roll in here. We'd be happy to have you. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch is how you get involved. If you're like Daniel Perez and you're live streaming on Facebook Live today, you can like the video. You can share now to public. That's in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Speaking of liking videos, YouTube, Amar, and everybody else that's on YouTube, you can like the video. You can subscribe to the channel. You can tell a friend to do the same, and we would be grateful for you that way. Twitter, simple. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen, retweet the show in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, as I mentioned, and we will enjoy the conversation together. Jay says on Twitch, I'm ready for a glimpse of what Levis really brings so fans could get off the emotional high and think logically. Well, Jay, somebody brought this up on the radio show today. We just finished the radio show about 45 minutes ago. And somebody brought up to me the idea of, I'm tired of media telling, from a fan perspective, he said, I'm tired of media telling people to temper their expectations. There are more people telling me to temper my expectations than expectations that actually need to be tempered. And I think that's probably a little fair. There's just a general okay, just wait a second before you freak out. Nobody's taking the emotional high that Sunday was from you, but it also is fair to say, okay, let's give it a little while longer before we say anything definitive about Will Levis or Will Levis with this football team. So we'll talk about these three keys to success. High on that Levis pack, says Amar. That's right. A lot of you guys out here smoking them if you got them, but we'll see who gets smoked between the Titans and Steelers tonight on the primetime broadcast. Welcome into Titan Game Day morning here from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm your host, Buck Rising. If you are new to the show, and I'm proud as always to be presented to by Two Rivers Ford. Quality American-made Ford vehicles, award-winning customer service. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. The Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage has the intel edge you need to succeed. Go to GaryAshton.com for more information. Don't sell without the intel that the official real estate agent of the Nashville Predators can provide. And Zen Sports, promo code ATOZTN gets you in on all the action. Zen Sports, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, hockey. Well, I guess there's no more baseball, right? Apparently the World Series came and went, and I didn't see a single game of it. But if you are betting on sports that are going on, Zen Sports is where you go. Matt Drew says, let's get this dub. Yeah, what's it going to take for the Tennessee Titans to get a win tonight here in Pittsburgh? Jimmy Wyatt had a great stat today that there are five players in the history of professional football, or at least since the merger, that have started a game in Pittsburgh in a primetime setting, and those quarterbacks are 0-5 in those games. There's a lot of names on that list that are interesting, but Will Levis, being the sixth, could potentially make history tonight. So we'll see how it goes. Tippy Sot, is that what it says? Tippy Sot? Yeah, on Twitch says, Buck, what's your prediction for the rest of the season? I don't do predictions because I think they're stupid. I have no idea. So we're not going to waste the breath on it. The prediction, but you can go somewhere else for your predictions. But we're actually going to talk about a football game and matchups and things like that. So we'll get into these things together. You guys know how this goes. Three keys to success for the Titans to win in Pittsburgh tonight. I'll give you three. You give me your biggest key for the Titans to be able to have success, and we will discuss at length together right after I remind you that Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet makes the Titan Game Day morning show possible. Powered by Ford, driven by people, Two Rivers always goes above and beyond to make sure that you have the best car buying experience possible. TwoRiversFord.com for your information, for more information about the best car buying experience that there is. So what's your biggest key to success for the Titans to win today? I think that Tipsy going back, or Tippy rather, sorry, keep putting an S in there unnecessarily, says the biggest key has to be to contain TJ Watt. I think it falls on the coaches. He's got to be double teamed all game. And even then, they might not be able to stop him, right? TJ Watt is the second best defensive player in football right now. And that's only because Myles Garrett exists. Derek says also blocking TJ Watt. I don't think TJ Watt is blockable. So how you mitigate those things is going to be fascinating, right? Taking care of the quarterback. No turnovers in this game. That's the first key to success in this game. Playing clean football. You don't have to air it out the way that they did against the Falcons. Would be nice if you could. I think they're going to have some opportunities to take some shots in this game, but no turnovers is going to be the thing. Both of these quarterbacks are going to be under fire. Kenny Pickett against the Titans, Will Levis against the Steelers. How they manage the situation is going to be fascinating to see, but in talking to Will Levis on Sunday night after he beat the Falcons, after the Titans beat the Falcons, I thought it was interesting that he said that he had a few butterflies before his first game, but the idea of him coming into a road environment that he's not seen before, it's fair. He hadn't played the Pittsburgh Steelers before, hadn't played in Pittsburgh before. But this is a player who's played in the SEC, played in a lot of hostile road environments with a whole hell of a lot of people jammed into stadiums that wanted to see him lose. So not least of which, by the way, is Neyland Stadium at Tennessee. So the idea that Will Levis would not be prepared or not have the appropriate experience coming in here, that any NFL quarterback that started in the SEC would not have that experience, I think is kind of missing the mark, but he'll have to manage those things today.
Like I've been saying, it's the game I love, and there's nothing better than winning a football game. And Coach Vrabel was saying, we made it a little harder than we needed to, but we got the win. That's all that matters, and got to get ready for this short week against Pittsburgh.
What was your nerve level coming in, Will? And any anxiety? And if so, did it go away?
I was up and down all the last couple of weeks. I think there were certain days where I was kind of, feeling the butterflies a little bit, but really just, confidence and just keeping that neutral, headspace on everything. And I didn't really have any of those feelings today. So
had been a while since you played. How'd you manage to maybe get into kind of such a good rhythm?
I was telling Travis in our locker room, I was like, I think you're the last person to hit me since we brought you over from Chicago. But just playing quarterback, obviously season through season, you're going that long amount of time without getting hit. But it's football. I'm used to it, obviously playing as long as I have, and it's good to be able to play the full game.
How big was DeAndre Hopkins? How big was that for you, and what was going on there?
It was good. I just trusted what I saw, and we knew that we might have some opportunities to go over the top on them, and we weren't necessarily going to force it, but just wanted to make sure I was making the right decision, and he was obviously doing a good job of getting open.
How much did you?
So that's Will Levis. No turnovers in this game or win the turnover battle. Turnovers are going to happen. Will Levis is going to throw an interception. Will Levis is going to lose a fumble at some point in his NFL career. When that happens, if that's tonight at Pittsburgh, whether that's, on the road at Tampa Bay, whenever he makes his next start, right? Because obviously that's also up in the air with the Tannehill thing kind of looming in the background. And we'll see what happens with Ryan Tannehill and Will Levis moving forward. But tonight it is number 8 show, and he has to play as clean a game as humanly possible. I also think the second key to success, we'll get to your second and third keys or your keys to success, my second and third key to success here in just a second, right after I remind you that the Titan Game Day Morning Show is made possible by the Ashton Real Estate Group of RE/MAX Advantage. GaryAshton.com is where you go for your dream address without the stress. The intel edge you need to succeed can be found at GaryAshton.com. Push the ball down the field. You don't have to have 33-yard touchdown, 61-yard touchdown, and 47-yard touchdown. You don't need to have 3 explosive plays that go for scores, but you have to be able to push the ball down the field. They have to be able to get chunk plays. They have to be able to get Hopkins open. Tim Kelly did a masterful job of that against the Atlanta Falcons. The best touchdown design that I saw that Greg Cosell broke down on this week's episode of The Install was the 16-yarder, not even one of the giant chunk plays that they got. The 16-yard touchdown play was the best play that I saw all day. Greg, in fact, wants the Titans to keep winning now so that he can put that on the NFL matchup show and display that for an audience because the design was really, really good. Lou Man says that I look nice today. Thank you very much. It's because the lighting. For once in my hotel, I have windows that are going to work with me today, so I don't look like it still kind of looks like a hostage situation with the dull backdrop of my Marriott existence. But we love Marriott, no free ads. And certainly it's nice to have a little light here today. Anyway, I think that pushing the ball down the field, limiting the turnovers, winning the turnover battle, and then of course defensively you have to affect the quarterback. You don't have to have 6 sacks, but you got to stay on Kenny Pickett. Steelers offense has been bad. They are having their Todd Downing moment with Matt Canada here in Pittsburgh, and they are talking a lot about Matt Canada's job viability moving forward. If you've seen any Steelers game this year, you know that he's been booed loudly and publicly in the stadium. Mike Tomlin is very much aware of that. There is a lot of stuff going on with this. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Steelers that I think the Titans are going to be able to advantage of. So teeing off on the quarterback, pushing the ball down the field, limiting the turnovers would be ideal. Antoine says, Buck's room looks a little small, though. Helps hear you better. Well, actually, this is the biggest hotel room. No. Chicago. No. Yeah. No, I lied. Minnesota is the biggest hotel room. No, Cleveland. Cleveland is the biggest hotel room that I've had. This is actually there's a whole ass kitchen in my hotel room. Like I'm in a what do they call this? Residence Inn. So I'm basically like, this is bigger than most people's studios, apartments, this damn hotel room. Anyway, we got to keep it moving. The Zen Sports Best Bet is what we will wrap up with. Promo code ATOZTN is how you get in on all the action. ATOZTN is the place to go in the Zen Sports app for you to bet. Football, basketball, hockey, all of your favorite major sports are available for you. So download the Zen Sports app, plug in that promo code, and get in on all the action. Peter Kippenhuck says, not too cold, 43 degrees and a 5-mile-an-hour wind. That's good for the Rook. It's not, it's warmer here in Pittsburgh, actually, than I heard it was in Nashville today. Nashville, it's closer to 50 degrees here in Pittsburgh, and I think it's about 43 back home. So we will see. I don't think weather is not something that I think should impact him. He's played in the elements before. It's not like Kroger Field's not outside. Like weather and environment, atmosphere for an SEC player, that's not something that I'm overwhelmingly concerned about. MB says we can't treat Pittsburgh like they're bigger than they are. They're not a good football team. Titans can beat them if they show up. I agree. Pittsburgh Steelers, we do this a lot of times with famous athletes, right? Once they get past their peak a little bit, and I'm not saying that the Steelers are past their peak, but I don't think that the Steelers are like the Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers that all of us associate the Pittsburgh Steelers to be, at least in this season. They're not. And so that there's a gap really between them and the Titans right now. I wouldn't necessarily say so. Steelers have struggled on offense. Titans have struggled on offense, not with last Sunday as the recency bias, but to my knowledge, Pittsburgh hasn't had a game that's looked like the Titans just played at any point. Now, Pittsburgh's defense will be prepared for that. The problem in Pittsburgh is not the defense. It's obviously the offense. And so these two teams kind of mirror each other. But the only thing that Pittsburgh really has clearly and obviously over Tennessee right now is that they're playing at home. That's really the only definitive advantage that I can discern. And that it is a tough place to play and win a game. So we'll see what comes of this game. The Zen Sports Best Bet. The Titans on Zen Sports today or ahead of this evening is a pretty interesting line that I saw when I was cruising through the app. And ironically enough, the app has kicked me out earlier as I try to pull up the line specifically. But the Titans obviously not favored here in Pittsburgh. And I think anytime, like I took the Titans, I didn't bet them, but I gave you guys as the best bet last week, the Titans on the money line. And I would say the Titans on the money line, probably not a safe bet, but I would take the Titans plus the points. It's probably a short line as we sit here getting ready for this game in particular. 3 points are what the Steelers are favored by at home. Thank you, Bert, for providing that line for us, courtesy of Zen Sports. So 3 points is what the Steelers are favored by. I'd probably take the Titans plus the 3. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be an ugly game. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. But, maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. Who's to say? It's going to do it for us this afternoon. Enjoy the football. I'm heading over to the stadium here in just about an hour. I'm going to take some time to decompress a little bit after radio and then go see what it is that there is to be seen at Acrisure Field between the Titans and the Steelers. No primetime tonight, obviously, because you guys will be watching the game. Sunday, we'll be back at it, and I'll be back in Nashville by tomorrow morning in time to do the radio show. So we'll see you guys then at 10 a.m. on 104.5 The Zone.